everybody, and welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast, where each week we bring you valuable insight and information that directly affects our local business community. I'm Danielle Holley, and I'm the executive director of the best chamber of commerce around, the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. And I'm proud to bring you our Talk of the Town podcast with my co-host, Mr. Carlos Garcia of FYI Technologies. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Danielle. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, my friend. All right. Well, this week we have Josh Holley. Yes, my husband, Josh Holley, owner of Ally MX. Josh, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be on this morning. We're having a good time.
Yes. Well, every show's special, but this one's a little extra special. And we just love having you as a chamber member. And I think you've been around a little bit more now, so folks are getting to know who you are. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring you on the podcast and do a little more extended format into who you are and discuss what you do with your business. So let's start off. Tell us about you personally. Just tell us about yourself.
Well, owner of Ally MX. It is a content media marketing agency, and we handle everything photography all the way through video. And the content world is big, it's major, and trying to streamline that as best as I possibly can.
I love it. But tell me about you personally.
I love moto, I love golf, and I love anything digital media. The arts has always been in my world. I'm not a good drawer. Ever since I was a kid, I could not draw to save my life, but I could take a photo, and that's kind of what started the journey.
And
stick figures count, man. Stick figures count.
I can draw a pretty mean stick figure. That gets me around. Even to this day, sometimes when I'm brainstorming or storyboarding, you got stick figures for sure.
Very cool.
So you grew up in Fontana. Tell us a little bit more about your history of who you are.
Yeah, I actually grew up in the San Diego area. I was a beach kid. Got to grow up on a skateboard and a boogie board. And then when I was about 7 years of age, my parents, my mom and my dad, Gina and Gary Holley, we moved inland to Fontana, straight into Fontana, California. And I traded in my surfboard for a dirt bike and all things dirt, which was a lot of fun. And it was pretty cool because coming from that area, it's a completely different culture out there. And then coming here, it was rad because you build friends and relationships and things that feel, and I'm not going to put them on blast, but something about Fontana feels very natural. It feels very real. It feels very authentic. And so, growing up here, it was great. I went to Bloomington Christian High School, actually junior high and high school, where I graduated there. And it was pretty fun because that journey of falling in love with Fontana and everything about Fontana was great. But this is the city that really where I discovered what I like, what I love. Like I said, moto, golf, all things art-wise for photography and videography and people. And I think the biggest thing that I learned over the 15 years of growing up here was just that I love people. And so figuring out how to connect the art side with people was what I saw after I graduated high school. And that's kind of what led me to Ally MX. Let's connect people. Let's connect art, put them together and make it work for everybody.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. So speaking of Ally MX, tell us a little bit about, your company, your business. How did you get started?
With Ally MX, it was always this feeling in the moto world. We have a lot of competing, I'd say not just social media, but a lot of media agencies. Everyone's trying to be the top dog, so to speak, in any genre. And there's just a lot of competition. And even though you have friends in those worlds, everyone's trying to get the latest story or capture a better product or, outbeat your neighbor, so to speak. And I always thought to myself, there's a lot of enemies going on in this world and there's a lot of conflict. And I thought, I think I can do a lot better if I join forces with some of these people that I'm in competition with and really bring them into my circle and team with them, collaborate with them, and then start working on projects together. So it's not just one person, but then it's multiple people who are bringing a lot of quality and experience to the table. And so I just kind of became allies with a lot of these really great people in that circle. And I thought to myself, that would be a really great name for a business, Ally. Like we need less enemies and more allies. And so with the help of my wife, Danielle, she encouraged me, like she said, hey, babe, you're really, really good at delivering, content and media and doing that in a way which helps the client and accomplishes the job that they want to do. And you do it in a really beautiful visual way. Launch your own company. And, and this can be something where you can still bring those people and those resources and those partnerships that you've made alongside with you. And then you can deliver to the client exactly what it is they need. And so that's kind of what drove it. And it's been a little over a year now that we've had the company going. And like I said, it's been incredible. And I highly recommend, and I know Danielle does too, and you do too, Carlos, business is where it's at. And in Fontana, if you want businesses to thrive and do well, we need passion behind them. And so more people need to start their own businesses and do them in Fontana, because I say everything rips. So then it's a moto term. So if something's great, I always say, oh, that rips. And Fontana definitely rips.
You know what, man? That's the cool thing about it is, again, you're looking at this from a collaboration perspective. Like you're also helping businesses along the way that are getting started and all that too. And I think that's the missing link for a lot of established businesses, that they don't want to share because they think you're basically going to take over their territory and all that. But they miss the opportunity where we can all work together and just deliver just great things for a lot of the folks,
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
Yeah, collaboration, not competition. There is room for everyone in this space. And that's what we say too when you join the chamber. You're not just joining a membership organization, you're joining the chamber family. And we truly operate like that. And I would even say on the city level, I always say we're an anomaly, we're a unicorn, because most cities don't have the relationship between the business community and our local elected officials like Fontana does. Fontana is open for business. We have a mayor and council that are pro-business. Even our 2nd District County Supervisor, who represents us, came from Fontana. He lives here, but he understands business and is a business owner himself. And so, having that strong foundation, really focused on collaboration. Everyone succeeds if we help each other out, right? And I always like to tie in our theme at the chamber. Every year I come up with a theme, and everybody's probably tired of me saying it, but I'm going to say it all year long. 2025, our theme is 2025. Together we thrive. And it takes all of us, not competing, but supporting one another. And so I go back to that idea of family, chamber family, right? Family's there to support you, to encourage you when times get tough. It's tough sometimes to do business in California, right? Our state legislature, doesn't always make it the easiest on us. But then, family's there to encourage you in the high times as well, and everything in between. And so that's where we come in as a chamber. And we've been doing that for the last 111 years, serving our business community. And so it's just great to see other businesses reflect that. And I know, Josh, even through our conversations and your name, just really that collaborative aspect, we can all accomplish more when we work together. And so I think it's a great reflection just in your name. And so I want to touch on the MX, because it has like a dual representation. Obviously, MX motocross, your MX, your dirt bike life, but you're not just all about dirt bikes. It also stands about multimedia, and that's what you do. And so I want you to briefly touch on your dirt bike world and what you do with MXA, but really how you service clients outside of the moto world.
Yeah. With that, whenever you see MX, you think motocross. And so that's very visually appealing to that world. So, we kind of wanted to headline that a little bit with MX, but really there's something under the hood there, because, the M stands for multimedia. And even more so, the X is actually a Roman numeral for 10, which is actually my brother's baseball number. And his competitive number, and he died in a car accident when he was 18, unfortunately. But the positive takeaway from that is it changed my whole life completely. It made me see the value in every day, every moment. And so that's me kind of honoring my brother, Scott Holley, in a way with that 10. And so, that feeling of just driving excitement and vision and camaraderie and becoming allies with people, and doing that day by day, because tomorrow's not guaranteed, and we don't know what the next day or month or year is going to hold. And so that's kind of what made me drive that name going forward. And yeah, it is motocross. And as you alluded to, Danielle, with MXA, MXA stands for Motocross Action Magazine. And I say we are the #1 magazine in the industry. And we are. Numbers wise, we've been around for 50 years, which is incredible. As a kid, I had a subscription to the magazine, and I would drool over every single page, and I would think about the parts and the bikes, and one day how rad it would be to be able to test ride and do all the cool stuff that they do. But that's always just a dream when you're a kid. And then to become an adult and then find myself in a position where I'm actually test riding for the magazine. So I get to test ride all the brand new dirt bikes, all the brand new parts that are coming out, and then also create content for social media for that brand, which is MXA. It's a dream come true. And sometimes I have to pinch myself. I got an orange helmet, and it's pretty awesome. So that's where the MX connects. So I do a lot of primary work with them. Outside of that, as a freelancer, that's where the Ally Multimedia comes in, because with me, my mind doesn't just end with motocross. It's so much bigger than that. Like I said, I love people. And so I think that's where the photography side of, family photography and graduation photography and anything photography. Sometimes, a lot of times, businesses just need brand new headshots. The team's constantly changing with the staff, and you're wanting to update all that stuff. You're also wanting to present really well in your business, and we know as in competition, the truth is the way people see you and the way that you present yourself is a big starting point for how well you're going to do, right? None of us showed up in pajamas today, right? With our hair all crazy, we present well, and that it shows people that, when you take care of yourself, you take care of your product and what you do. And so I love representing people in their best light. And so that's why that photography and video side comes into play, because I can help people deliver those things that they're trying to accomplish, with whether it be a business or, capture that graduation person on their day and make them feel incredible and like who they really are. And and like I said, Ally MX, I don't know what the future holds, but I do feel like it's big things. It's growing really quickly and it's expanding really quickly. And the fun part is it's connected to Fontana and helps serving all of our members and all of our community in Fontana. So that's pretty rad for me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
No, and I appreciate you sharing, especially, and I'm sorry for your loss, but I also love the fact how you're honoring your brother, man. That's huge for sure.
Thank you. Yeah. Every day is a gift for sure. So
absolutely.
And believe it or not, I actually run the number 10 now. So it's on my jerseys, and yeah, it's fun.
Great. That's fun. Awesome. Hey, talk a little bit about your journey now and experience with the Chamber.
Yeah, so Chamber of Commerce is it's incredible, not just because Danielle runs it. It's always been an incredible foundation, and just for Fontana and what happens in our city. Danielle's obviously pushing together. We thrive because it's a collaborative effort for it to be strong, and so the business is coming together and not just doing commerce separately or just focusing on their lane, but actually learning from each other, growing together. We even get board members from the Chamber of Commerce to go on retreats together and, have these think tanks and brainstorm and, like I said, really come together and figure out how we can make steps forward for the city. And that's encouraging as a business owner, because you realize you're not just in this, this city just figuring out on a whim. You feel like you have people behind the scenes that are strategically making moves to set up the city to succeed. And that happens all the way from, our appointed officials, that we have from the mayor all the way down and then right into the Chamber of Commerce for like what we're doing business wise. And so my connection with the Chamber of Commerce has been really, really great, being a member and being a close knit person to a lot of those people that are in it is awesome. I'm 44, but I'm still pretty young. So, and even in the business world, like I said, I haven't had my business for very long. So I am just pulling on nuggets of information from all of these incredible people that are a part of the chamber. And that's amazing to me. And so if that can happen for a 44-year-old business owner, I think it's so fruitful for young and old to be a part of that. So yeah, it's been a huge blessing for me.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that. And I always tell people at all of our events, we'll provide the opportunities, meaningful opportunities for people to show up, connect, share about their business. But there's one little catch. You have to show up. You can't just be a fly on the wall and think, oh, I'll go to the next one. It's all about community, but that starts with showing up and engaging. And so for those of you that are listening, you got to show up. We always have something going on at the chamber every week. There's an event, and we are adding new events all the time because we're not an events chamber, and we joke about that because we so are an events chamber and we always have something awesome going on. But that's what it's about, right? We'll create the environment for that collaboration to happen, but you have to show up and you have to engage. And so it's great to hear you, especially being so close to the camp, say that as well, being a business owner here in Fontana. So I want to shift gears just a little bit. Can you tell us about any trends and challenges that you're seeing in your space, not just within this year, but just long term? Just what are you seeing in your industry?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer that question. I'm gonna segue in 1 second, but I just wanted to follow up to what you just said. Those chamber luncheons that happen, most people would not think that they were very important or they shouldn't, I don't know if I should come. Those are incredible. Those are some of my favorite times when I get to do life with other business owners, and you get to figure out how everyone helps each other. So I just want to throw that in there. If you're thinking about a chamber luncheon, don't think anymore. Show up. I'll see you at the next one. But to segue that into your question, some of the challenges that we're facing right now with just content in general, I think we have, coming out of COVID, so post-COVID, there was this kind of movement of creating content that was very in your face and very energetic and very kind of, you can just hold your phone and clock out and, an hour later kind of realize where you were. And as someone that spearheaded that, not everybody may know who this is. But there's a couple content creators on YouTube. One of them is Mr. Beast. And I think he spearheaded that a little bit, where it was like just fast paced stuff. Nothing was really authentic. It was just very entertaining and visual. And that worked for a long time. And I think there is everyone likes to jump on bandwagons. And so all the media people kind of jumped on that YouTube bandwagon of creating content that way. And what happened along the way is we kind of lost the authentic, connected touch to what was going on with the content that was being created. And I kind of noticed that. And so with Ally MX, I jumped in there and told my clients, hey, let's shift gears a little bit. People are really looking for a connection with the provider. They're also looking for a connection with you as an individual, which is exactly why I think podcasts are starting to do really, really well, is people get to sit down and listen to you, to us unfiltered, which is great. And so that was kind of that trend that happened, and now is kind of shifting, where I'm actually capturing a lot of my clients, even in just one take, where even if they make a mistake, they just keep talking about it. Even MXA, we do a really great job of that. Sometimes Josh will be describing something and he'll make a mistake and he'll just stop and go, oh, I meant to say this. And people love that. I mean, that's the thing, that it's connecting them back to human interaction. And what happens with social media is, so many people are on their phones that they're not doing life with each other, and they're kind of disconnected from reality. And so by creating content that makes them feel more real or more connected back to reality, it makes something go off on us that's like, I can identify with that, or I like that, or I want to be a part of that. And so, if I have a client that may have a restaurant or something like that, it's trying to get not only that person's face and what they provide to the person that's going to be, coming to the restaurant and enjoying what they do. It's not just showing them what they do, but it's showing them how they do it, why they do it. It's like, I have some people that make some really great flan at a specific restaurant, and it's like, I want to showcase not just that we sell flan, but how did this flan get to this special place where when it hits my mouth, the flavors explode. And I'm like, there's a story behind this, and if I can tell that story, or I can, market that in a way where people go, oh my goodness, like if you haven't had the flan from yada yada, you have to have it. I saw this little piece on it, and now I can't think about it, or now I think about it every day. And so that's kind of my role, is figuring out how to connect people with those products and do it in a way where it's authentic and it means something. And so we are shifting that perspective a little bit. That's been the challenge, early on for me. And now the solve to that is authenticity.
I love that.
Josh, so upcoming, do you have any events that you want to promote or share with folks?
We have a lot of events, actually. I have quite a few things that are happening in the MX world, but even away from that. But for specifically, I think the viewers of this podcast, I'm always doing stuff with the city, which is incredible. The installation gala is we have a police and fire event. We have the Fontana days, has a bunch of parades and things like that, which is so fun to be a part of. We did State of the City, which was incredible. We have a lot of upcoming events with the city that I like being a part of and doing that. But I also have, like I said, on the multimedia side of things, I'm open for business, because business is happening, 24/7, 12 months out of the year. And so to say I have a specific event coming up, no, but something I think business owners need to pay attention to is what's coming up next. Because, as a business owner, you always got to be thinking 3 months, 4 months, 6 months ahead. And the better that you're planned out, the better ROI that you're going to have. And so I always encourage people, hey, Ally MX is not just an event. We are here to provide the service that you need throughout the entire year. So, you're going to have family photography coming up here in the fall. You're going to have businesses rethinking, headshots and their websites. And, what are we going to make a commercial that's going to run us into the year of 2026? Those are all things that we need to be thinking about right now, because when 2026 launches, we have to be ready to go. So that stuff needs to be captured right now. So in terms of events, yes, we're having lots of events. Everybody who reaches out to me and sets one of those up, we're going to make it happen, because I want to see the businesses, and not just Fontana, but anybody who's watching this. I really genuinely want to see you guys thrive the way that me and so many others are thriving. And that happens by camaraderie, authenticity, and literally marking it down in the books and just getting it done.
You need to drop a mic on that moment, man.
I know. I was like, dang. We're going to repeat that around.
I think, I think the truth is, like, we all have a little procrastinator in us, and I think that's because California is very fast paced, and that's okay. We live here for a reason. We like it. But when it's that fast pace, you're kind of just taking a moment to relax. As soon as you get done with your 9 to 5, or if you're a business owner, your 9 to 9, or, your 12, 16-hour day, when you get done with it, you just want to come back home. You want to eat your food. You don't want to do anything. But the thing that sets you up for success is really the social media side of it. And I'm not just pitching my services. I'm telling you, this stuff works because, I know when we want to rest, we don't want to do anything. But the best thing that we can do for our business is continue to figure out how to grow it, and how to interject excitement, and how to interject purpose for what you're doing. I have a client in San Diego that was literally grinding. The owner of this place in San Diego was working 24 hours a day nonstop, and was seeing, great ROI. It's just something that maintained, but didn't have any energy for anything else, but had voiced to me, hey, I know the potential of my products, and I have the engineering, and I have the equipment, and we're nailing it on that side, but I feel like I'm just hitting the ceiling and I can't get past it, and I'm exhausted. And so, of course, I came to him and I said, oh, you're not going to like how this sounds, but we need to create a little bit more or reserve a little bit more energy, finances, and money to put towards creating social media content for your brand. And what that's going to do is it's going to tell people what you've created, what the passion behind what you've done. Like, it has made itself into a product, and you're the only person that knows about it. And if we can tell the rest of the world how you got there, why you got there, and what that product does for the recipient, then your numbers are going to go up. And when your numbers go up, a lot of rad things happen. And so, to fast forward, we did just that. He was like, I trust you. This is crazy. I've never done anything like this before. We're going to go for it. And we set course on a plan. And, to fast forward really quick, he called me the other day and he's like, man, my numbers are going through the roof. I'm hiring new personnel. I got more staff. He's like, I have more budget. Like, I want to bring you on as a full-time, content creator for my page now. I didn't know that this was like a thing. And so that was kind of the aha moment for him to just realize, you can work your behind off, but if you don't market it correctly, it's not gonna go anywhere. And even furthermore, if you market something with a little effort, but you market it really, really well, it's going to do way better than just working really, really hard and not doing that. And so there's obviously a balance there, but it's the social media that's really driving these gauges of these brands.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So I know you said you don't have, you touched on some of the events, but you also, I don't think you mentioned this, you've been doing photography for, before we were married. So 17, 18, 19 years. You also do weddings. You do videography for weddings. You mentioned graduations, people thinking about their Christmas photos, but really what your bread and butter and focus is right now is exactly that brand management, that social media engagement, that marketing strategy and plan. So it's been great to, see you just do it on your own. But, for those that are listening, trust him when he says that it really does work. And I think you can attest to that too, Carlos, times that you've engaged on the chamber side. When we're marketing things correctly, we just see that engagement and those numbers that we're really looking for. So that's amazing. So if everyone's hearing this and all of these awesome services that you provide or just want to connect with you, how can people find you? Are you on Instagram, website? Give them all the details.
Yeah, the website is allymultimedia.com. So ALLY multimedia, multimedia.com, multimedia.com. And then my phone number, I'm always open for a ring. So that is 909-900-6570, 900-6570. Yeah, pretty easy. That's usually the best way. But and then I'm on Instagram as well. You can find Ally Multimedia, and I have a couple other accounts. But I would say give me a call. Go check out the website. Give me a call. You can also email me, Josh at allymultimedia.com. Again, Josh at allymultimedia.com. And yeah, we can get started right there. Like I said, it's weird. I don't want to toot my own horn, but as I was growing up, people always told me, and you've probably heard this as well, you need to niche down. You need to be really good at one thing and just do that one thing and don't think outside the box too much. But the problem with me, and I think is a good problem, is anything that I do, I want to excel at. And I'm like I said, I'm 44, so I've been doing this a long time. So I've had a lot of time to take my niche and expand. So yeah, from family photography all the way to content creation, weddings, all that stuff. I love it. I'm good at it. I really am good at it. And more importantly, I really love seeing the client happy. When that smile on the bride's face or the smile on the business owner's face, when they see the final product and they're like, this is what I wanted to say. I'm like, we did it. It's such a great feeling. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know we'll put all of those points of contact in the show notes and the comments and all of that. But once again, thank you, Josh, for being here. I appreciate hearing your story. Well, I know your story, but hearing it here publicly in this forum so that the rest of our listeners and audience can know a little bit more about who you are and my other half, but really, truly what you do to serve our business community here in Fontana.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, dude, I'm really glad I got to hear you for the first time and learn more about you as well too, man. So I'll definitely be looking for you at the next luncheon for sure. So
yeah, let's go. I'll see everyone there. All you guys watching, you better be there.
I love it. And thank you so much, Carlos, for hosting us and handling all of the technology on this side of things. Carlos owns FYI Technologies, and I love his little slogan, if technology makes you cry, call FYI. And I'm not crying because that's why we have Carlos.
I love it.
So thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. And for those of you listening, don't forget a new episode of the Talk of the Town podcast drops every Tuesday at 10 a.m. You can find us on all major streaming platforms and YouTube. And don't forget, we're on the Chamber's home webpage. If you're looking there, the link to the podcast is there. And it also goes live on our social media at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So the link is there as well. So tons of opportunities to find us. And hey, if you're not sure, just call the office. We'll help you out. But thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. We appreciate you. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Josh. And we will see everyone next week on the Talk of the Town.